Nobody is coming to tell you it's okay. Nobody is going to sit you down, look you in the eye, and tell you that the thing you want to do with your life is legitimate, that the vision you have is real, that the path you're considering is the right one, that you have what it takes, that the timing is right, that you're ready. Nobody is coming with that conversation. And the people who are waiting for it, and there are more of them than you would ever guess, are going to wait their entire lives and never receive it. Not because they don't deserve it, but because that permission was never anyone else's to give. Think about what you are waiting for right now, not in the abstract. Specifically, what is the thing you haven't done yet that you're waiting for some kind of green light on? The business you haven't started, the conversation you haven't had, the direction you haven't committed to, the version of your life you haven't stepped into yet. Now think about who you are waiting to hear it from. A parent, a partner, a mentor, a boss, society in general. Some undefined future moment when enough things are in place that it finally feels safe to move. Whatever it is, that source of permission you're waiting on, I want you to really sit with the question of whether that permission is ever actually going to come. Not whether the person is capable of giving it. Whether they actually will, in the specific form you need, at the moment you need it, in a way that finally makes you feel ready to go. Because most of the time the honest answer is no. The permission you're waiting for is not coming. Not because the people around you don't care. Not because nobody believes in you. But because the kind of permission that would actually move you, the kind that would make you feel truly okay to start, to commit, to go all in, that kind only ever existed inside you. And the search for it outside is one of the longest and most exhausting detours a person can take in their own life. Most people never name this. They don't walk around saying, I'm waiting for permission. They say, I'm waiting for the right time. I'm waiting until I feel more confident. I'm waiting until things are more stable. I'm waiting until I know it's going to work. But underneath all of those things is the same root. They are waiting for something external to confirm what they already know internally. And that wait has no natural endpoint, because the outside confirmation is not what produces the feeling they're looking for. Only the decision does. Only the move does. Only the act of going anyway, without the permission, without the green light, without the confirmation, produces the feeling that people are waiting for external permission to give them. Let's talk about where this comes from, because people don't develop this pattern out of nowhere. It gets built into them slowly over years, starting early. Most people grew up in systems that required permission for almost everything. You needed permission to speak, permission to leave the room, permission to pursue certain paths, permission to be different from what was expected. And in those systems, the people who moved without permission faced consequences. Social consequences, relational consequences, sometimes real consequences. And so the brain learned. It learned that moving without permission is risky, that waiting for the green light is safer, that getting confirmation before you commit protects you from the pain of being wrong in front of people who matter to you. That lesson was useful once, but most people carry it into adulthood and apply it to everything, including the areas of their life where it no longer serves them, where the real risk is not moving too soon, but waiting too long, where the systems they're operating in are no longer ones that punish permissionless movement. They're just lives that are waiting to be lived. And nobody updates the lesson. Nobody sits down and says, okay, the rules of the system I grew up in don't apply here. In this area of my life, I am the authority. I don't need approval to move. So they keep applying a childhood lesson to an adult situation. Keep waiting for permission that the adult version of their life was never going to require. Permission seeking is almost always fear in disguise. The real reason most people wait for external confirmation before they move is not that they genuinely need someone else's approval to proceed. It is that having someone else's approval means that if it goes wrong, it's not entirely their fault. If you get the green light from someone you trusted and then it doesn't work, the failure is shared. But if you move on your own authority, without permission, without confirmation, and it doesn't work, that is entirely yours to carry. And that weight, the weight of full ownership over your own decisions and their outcomes, is something most people were never taught to carry comfortably. So they outsource the decision. They wait for someone else to authorize it, so the responsibility doesn't sit entirely with them. But here is the problem with that strategy. It also outsources the win. When you wait for someone else's permission to move, and then it works. The win doesn't fully belong to you either. And living a life where your wins don't fully belong to you is one of the quietest forms of emptiness that exists. So what does it actually look like to stop waiting for permission? The first thing it requires is getting honest about what you're actually waiting for. Not the surface answer, the real one. Sit with it. What is the specific form of permission you're looking for? Who are you looking for it from? What would they have to say exactly for you to feel okay to move? Getting that specific makes the pattern visible in a way that vague acknowledgement never does. And once you can see it clearly, you can start to examine whether what you're waiting for is actually possible. Whether the person you're waiting on is capable of giving it. Whether the confirmation you're looking for would even do what you think it would do if you received it. The second thing is recognizing that you already have more information than you're giving yourself credit for. Most people who are waiting for permission already know what they want to do. They already know the direction. What they're waiting for is not more information. It's the feeling of certainty. And certainty is not something that comes before the move. It comes after. It is built through action, not through waiting. Every step you take in the direction of what you want produces more certainty than any amount of thinking or waiting or seeking confirmation ever could. The third thing is understanding that the people you are waiting for permission from are usually not as certain about their own lives as you think they are. The authority figures, the mentors, the people whose approval feels like it would finally make things real. Most of them are also figuring it out as they go. They're not operating from a place of complete certainty that they are generously holding back from you. They're just further along in some areas, and you've assigned them authority they don't fully have. Recognizing that changes the weight their opinion carries. Not to nothing, but to something more proportionate to what it actually deserves. The fourth thing is the decision itself. At some point, the thinking has to stop and the moving has to start. And that transition from processing to acting is the one that most people avoid indefinitely. Not because they can't make it, but because once you make it, you are no longer protected by the ambiguity of still deciding. You are in it, accountable to it, responsible for whatever comes next. And that accountability is exactly what permission-seeking was designed to avoid. So the move into accountability feels scary in a way that is specific and identifiable once you know what you're looking at. It's not fear of the thing itself. It's fear of full ownership. And the only way through that fear is straight through it. There is no workaround. There is no preparation that removes it. There is only the decision to own your life completely, outcomes and all, and then live accordingly. When you stop waiting for permission and start moving on your own authority, the first thing that changes is speed. Things start moving faster, not recklessly, but without the lag of waiting for something that was never going to arrive on its own. You see the direction, you assess it honestly, you decide, you move. That cycle is so much faster without the permission-seeking step in the middle. And over time, over months and years of moving at that speed, the compounding effect is enormous. The second thing that changes is ownership. When the wins are yours because you made the call, not because someone gave you the green light, something shifts in how you relate to your own life. You stop feeling like a passenger in it. You start feeling like the person making it happen. And that feeling, the feeling of genuine authorship over your own story, changes what you believe you're capable of. It changes the quality of the life you're building because you are building it deliberately instead of waiting for it to be handed to you. God did not put the vision in you and then require you to get approval from other people before pursuing it. He put it in you because it belongs to you, because you are the person He made to carry it. And waiting for human permission to pursue what God already authorized is one of the most unnecessary delays a person can impose on their own life. The green light was given before you were born. The question was never whether you had permission. The question was always whether you were going to act like you did. You have permission. You always did. Now go. Sit with that.